Welcome traders to a new episode of our funded series. Let's dive into what it takes to pass the two-phase evaluation and get funded up to $400,000. Welcome Marvin Lotza to True Forex Funds.
Thank you very much.
You are from Tima, Ghana, if I believe that's near from the capital of Ghana.
Yes, sir.
You are sitting at the nice weathered Gulf of Guinea. Around our time zone as well, and
exactly
trading from your home for a prop firm and making some consistent profits.
Right.
Now, Marvin, I can see that you had 3 funded payouts recently from True Forex Funds, and you've been trading us for 7 months right now.
Right.
Can you walk us through, introduce yourself? How did you get into trading and your recent experience with True Forex Funds?
Okay, so I'll start by mentioning my name once again. Yeah, so my name is Marvin Lotza, and I'm a Ghanaian. I'm currently a graduate research assistant, pursuing my master's in urban and regional planning. Yeah, and people call me Marvin Thooks, Thoaks. Yeah, that's more like my brand name. I love music. That's actually my hobby. I play the bass guitar. So I have a YouTube channel that I have about 3K subscribers. So basically, I record bass lessons. I play bass covers of songs. Yeah, I've recorded with a couple of artists in Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon. Yeah, and then I've played songs all over. Yeah, all over. So that's for my hobby and how I started trading. So my whole trading journey began in the latter part of 2021. Yeah, so let's say the beginning of 2022. So when I started trading, I was taking online YouTube lessons here and there, taking signals here and there. So as usual, as you know, I blew some $100, 200, 100, 200. I mean, that's a lot of money in Ghana. Yeah. So shortly after blowing all those amounts, I wanted to really understand. I wanted to make the analysis myself. I didn't want a situation whereby someone would just give me signal, then I'll just go enter. I didn't even know what lot sizes to open, so I just opened big lot sizes. It was more like I was gambling. Yeah. So there were days it would go well, and then there were days that it won't go well at all. So I um I was introduced to this mentor who is called Elvis Justice. He owns Serendipity Trading Academy. So what made me like him was the fact that he was also a student, a medical student, and still trading, and he was successful in both of them. Yeah, he was a medical student. He was practicing in Russia. So when I got in touch with him, I went to one of his. He organizes these fairs and then seminars. So I went and then he started talking, and I realized the guy was very learned, like he knows what he's doing. So I was admiring him, and then I wanted to. So I bought his courses. He has online courses on forex, stocks, indices, cryptocurrency. Yeah. So because I was admiring the guy, I bought the whole course. Yeah. I think he did a giveaway. I was online. He asked a very basic question, and I was the first person to type into the comment section. So he told me to reach out to him. So when I reached out, he said I got $100. And then I was like, okay, then let me add some more money to it and get his course instead. And he was like, okay, that's fine. So that was how I bought the course. And for me, I think it helped me a lot because when you have a mentor, when you have someone you learn from, it helps you cut all these mistakes because they've done it over and over and over again. So it's nice to have a mentor, and that's one thing I'll tell traders out there. You can't do it on your own. You can do it on your own, but it will take you a longer time. But if you have a mentor, it will cut everything short for you. So after I started taking the courses, that was when I started learning. support, resistance, you when candlestick pattern formation and all those things. Yeah. So I'm still with Elvis. He's still my mentor. So along the line, I met some other mentors as well. I met a Godfather, who is also a very good mentor. He's taught me a lot. So that was all this thing happened between 2022 from the beginning till the end and then early this year. So again, I think on one of Elvis's course, he talked about prop firm, how to, if you think you're a trader and you are good and you don't have large capital, that was the first time I heard about prop firm. So he was like, yeah, you can look into prop firms. Like you can buy a 10K account and trade. And he thinks if you can turn $100 into $200, why not use that $100 to buy prop firm, pass their challenges, and then if you make let's say 10% on $1,000, that 10K, that's like $1,000. After the profit splits, you make 800 or 700, which is a very good deal. So he explained how the prop firms and their challenges, how it works, and yeah, so I was like, okay, then let me also look into profits. So a friend of mine actually told me, his name is Douglas. He was like, Tooks, you should look into TFF because they are fairly new. And so far, he hasn't heard any bad thing about them. Because, you know, prop firms can be like, some of them are scammers, actually. they, you trade for them, you pay for evaluation, you pass it, you trade for them, your first profits, they will take everything. You won't see anything. Yeah, that's very unfortunate, but it happens to people a lot. Yeah, so after that I was like, okay, let me see True Forex Funds. Then I came onto the page. I like the interface, like it's very user friendly, very simple, very nice. The colors is just nice, very, very appealing. So when I got there, I was like, okay, so let me give it a try. Then I started my first challenge, which was I think I bought a 50K account. Yeah, that was last year. That was a closing part of last year. I don't know if you realize, but uh, during the ending of the year, most traders are closing out and all that. So the market isn't that like really stable. Like it wasn't favoring me at all. So I lost that account. And then I was like, okay, next year I'll start prop firm, I'll try, pass, and then move on. So when we came back in January, I bought another 50K. This time around, I was like, you know what? Let me just buy two and then do it. So I bought two 50Ks. I don't know what happened. I lost that challenge too. I was like, what's happening? And then I think I bought another 25K trying to take my time and it didn't work. So what I did was I just signed out. I was like, you know what, let me just take some time off, go back to my chats, begin. So I did this demo with I did the account I wanted to. So now I came back again. I was like, this time around, I've learned my lessons. I think I'll do well. So let me get a 200K instead. So that was when I got the 200K account. So after getting that account, it took me, I think I took a retry. Yeah, my first time. Yeah, and that's one nice thing. The timeline is the first month is a month, but if you don't make it, just take a retry. And it's simple. I thought I had to write an email. Unfortunately, I couldn't pass the moment I got my time elapsed. The next day, I was sent new logins. I didn't have to even talk plenty. Yeah, so that's one thing. So when I got the login, like, okay, this time around I'll do it. So I tried, and then passed the phase one. Immediately I passed phase one, I got my phase two logins, and I also did and then passed that one too. So when I passed, that was a milestone for me. And I'm like, oh, I've tried, this account is huge. If I make 1% of 200K, that's 2,000. And $2,000 is quite an amount of money, especially when you convert it into Ghana cedis. So um I was glad, and I made my first payout. Yeah, I made my first payout, which I think somewhere around 6,000. I don't remember the exact figures, but 6,000. And then my my initial capital was also refunded. So I got like 8,000 in total. Yeah, I got like 8,000. And then 3 weeks after that, because I couldn't make profits in the first and the next week. You know, the payouts is 2 weeks every 2 weeks. So I couldn't make payouts in the next. So it became 3 weeks later. So 3 weeks later, I made another payout of about 8,000. Yeah. So from 6K to 8K. Then 2 weeks from from that day to I made another 10K, which was just yesterday. Yeah, just yesterday. I got the money yesterday. So basically that's my trading journey, where I started from and currently where I am. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's it.
Thank you for Marvin for this introduction. It was really thorough. I counted your funded profits. It's standing at 32,600 currently. And yeah, you did lose four phase one accounts. And I was thinking about how did you manage losing the trades, but actually you answered them. Like the free retry option is really beneficial because you don't need to risk. If you are seeing that you might end up with just 1% at the end of the trading period, you can utilize a free retry and start fresh on the next month.
Absolutely.
Marvin, do you use the same strategy when you're trading the funded account as the valuation?
No. I realized that when you have a funded account, okay, and you don't have to trade every day. You don't do it like you have to pass, you have 1 month. You have 2 weeks. Whatever you make is your money. So there is no need to rush. There is no need to, yeah. So I didn't use the same strategy that I was using every day trying to get money from the market, because I know the little money I make, I can just wait for my payout, make payout, and then move on. Yeah, so I don't trade the I don't trade the funded accounts like I used to trade the evaluation. Yeah.
What's the main difference between trading the evaluation and the funded account?
Well, I feel like with the evaluation, it's more like it is timed, even though you have retries, but you can't afford to lose. Let's say you make 5% and then you have to take a retry, try and make that 5% again. So that kind of pressure is, you want to try and finish everything in a month, and then the moment you are anxious and you want to do something so bad and you're not relaxed, you tend to take some decisions that will probably end you in a bad situation. Yeah, but for the funded, it's not timed. If you don't make profits in the first 2 weeks, they will tell you we've not made profits, so we'll move it to the next 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, if you make profits, you take your money. If you don't make profits, you still shift it to. So I think the timing in the evaluation, yeah, is the difference for me.
Thank you, Marvin, for touching on this, especially the pressure,
Yeah.
because on the funded program, it's really, you don't have any time limits. What do you think about trading psychology? Have a free mind when you're trading. How do you manage it in a practical way to have the freedom to profit from market movements as much as you can?
Right. So what I would say is trading, okay? First thing, you have to understand that you will lose money. Every day can't be a good day, okay? And if you have this in the back of your mind, anytime you get a bad day, I just go like, oh, it's part of trading. Oh, it's part of trading. But what makes it, I think what helps me is the fact that you just have to risk what you think you can lose, something that won't affect you. Okay, most of the times, if you go in too hard and then you put in so many losses, I mean lots and all that, and it hits you, that's when you become disturbed. But if I risk, let's say 1% of 200K, that's 2,000. That's 2K. 2K, 1%, it's okay. 0.51%, it's okay. If I lose it, I go like, oh, okay, today's a bad day. So let's go to the next day. We'll probably see something better. That's what I do. I understand that I can lose. Yeah. It's not, I can't be winning every day. That's one. And then number two, to my risk management. I risk what I can lose. Sometimes I just 0.5 loss and I'm like, yo, I'm okay, I'm out tomorrow. And then you have to also be self-disciplined. There are days you go like, I remember some of the mistakes I was making. When I go on the market, I lose money. I mean, in the what made me blow the other account, I lose money, and then instead of understanding that you've lost the money, it's okay, just go home and sleep. Tomorrow is another day. I'll go chase that money. Let me make this money. Nah, I have to. I have 1 month. I have 3 weeks left. Then I'll end up losing again. Then now my psychology starts messing around. Then the next day, because I know I've lost too much, now I become scared. So even when I see an opportunity, I'm like, should I take it? No, let me take my time. Then before I see, I FOMO, I've missed out a whole lot of things. Yeah. So that's how I got through that one. I know I'll definitely lose money. And I know if I lose money, it's part of the game. And I know I just have to leave the market when it hits me. I'll come back next day. Yeah, that's it.
Some traders stop at one losing trade in a day and then they will continue tomorrow. Do you have like a limit or something objectified tool that you use to minimize your risk if you would be in a losing streak?
I just reduce my lot sizes. Okay. So let's say if I'm doing 20 lots, my first trade, I hit stop loss. I'm like, okay. Next day, I hit stop loss. The third day, I won't go in with the same 20 lots. I'll do 10. I can even do 5 just to cover, because sometimes if you have a little profit on your capital, you feel like when you are taking a trade, you are a bit confident. You go like, worst case scenario, I'll just lose, let's say, this small capital. Yeah. So I change my lot sizes.
Hmm. What type of a trader do you consider yourself, Marvin? Are you a scalper, day trader, swing trader, or what kind of strategy do you implement on a day-to-day basis?
Well, just like I said, funded account is, you don't have time limit, right? So I don't have to be trading every day. Yes. However, I'll consider myself as a day trader. So I trade the New York session, market open. That's it. And I don't do much actually. I've come to realize that sometimes too much information on the market can cause traders to do a lot of mistakes. Yeah, if you have too much information. So I've tried my best to narrow it down, and I'm using what is working for me. So I do day trading, but not every day. So I come, I hit my target, and then I go. The next day I come, I don't see a clear pattern. I don't go. I don't enter, because I know this is a live account, and whatever I make it's more like my money. So I can't just risk my money on a setup I'm not confident in. Yeah.
Marvin, I was really looking forward to this interview because I know there's a special wisdom coming from you, from the trades that you are taking, an educated and waiting out the perfect scenario to happen way. So without further ado, can we look into the charts? How do you implement your strategy?
Absolutely. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, Elvis's course has a lot of we have forex, we have crypto, we have stocks and all that. But I came to fall in love with the stocks. Yeah, I started with currency pairs, but I don't remember the last time I traded a currency pair. So currently I trade more of NAS 100 and NAS 100 US 30. Yeah, and I chose those pairs because I use both fundamentals and technicals to execute my trades. Yeah. And for me, I also think that you don't have to trade too many pairs or too many currencies. If you find one, you find two, and you think it's okay, just go with them. Yeah. So that's what I do. So I trade NAS 100. Some will call it US Tech, some will call it Nasdaq. Yeah. So that's what I do. So let me. So usually when I come on the chart, like I mentioned, I don't do a lot of things. Okay, I trade a New York Bell Open, and first of all, um, what I know is that the stocks market is interrelated. They are connected. Okay, so whatever happens in the Asia session will reflect in the EU session. And the same thing will reflect in the New York session. So before I come to the market, I make sure I go to Asia. What happened in Asia? Okay. What happened in EU? Okay, it was selling. So the same pattern will repeat in New York, and I'll explain why that happens and how I take that as my direction. Okay, so now let me look for. So basically, when I come, I just mark my. So let me use the vertical line. So 7, and then good. So after I find my session, now in the session we can see that it is buying. It is moving to the upside, right? So the reason why I say stocks are connected, this is because the time London will be closing, okay, it's the same time New York session also opens. So London closes 2 hours. London closes 2 hours after New York starts. Okay, so it's more like they collide. Okay, so usually what is pushing the EU session will affect the New York session. Yeah, so that's what I do. I just come. So what is the direction? So after I get the direction, now the works becomes very simple for me. So the next thing I look for is I switch to my 30 minutes. I usually trade using the 30 minutes time frame, and then I'll look for my levels. So what I do is I use line charts, and I use the line charts to get my levels because it filters out the noise, the candlesticks, the wicks. It takes all of them out. Then I mark my levels like this. So I can mark here. And then you don't have to, or I don't mark levels that are far from price action. I do what is happening currently. I just mark the levels that are currently, like what is currently happening. Yeah. So even just these two levels, already I know from my fundamentals, or I know from what happened in London that it's a buy. So, and because I said they are interrelated, because of that collusion, the force from landing will affect it. It's 90% like assured. It happens all the time. That's one thing I do. So now that I know it's a buy, I wait for price to get to my key level, then I buy. And as we know, smart money will always move in the opposite direction. So when New York opens, you realize it will start selling. It will, to make traders think it is coming to sell. Retail traders, we just start selling. Then when it grabs liquidity, boom, it goes to the upside. Okay. So what I do is I wait for it to get to my key level. When it gets to my key, it's getting close to my key level, I switch back. So after I do this, I come back to see what I've done. So as you can see, it has taken the wicks, it took the wicks out. Yeah, and this helps me. There are times traders we miss opportunities with about 2 pips or 2 points because price gets there, but it doesn't like activate our orders and all that. Yeah, it's because sometimes we use the wicks as our levels. That's why I like using the line charts because it helps me eliminate all that. So when trade is getting to my zone, what I do is that I switch to the 1 minute time frame and then I look for patterns like W. Now that I'm looking for buy, I look for a W pattern or a V pattern. So the moment trade enters my key level and I see a W pattern, I take my buy. Or if I see a V pattern, I take my buy. In that case, by the time trade starts buying, I normally enter the trade from from the start. So it's more like some will call it sniper entry. Yeah. So basically that's what I do. And there are some other things too about the pair NAS 100. Okay. Even though NAS 100 it respects technical analysis, NAS 100 and US 30, they are mostly moved by fundamentals. Okay. So it is very, very important to really know what is happening in the market. For instance, the debt ceiling, the debt ceiling in the US that happened recently. Okay, after the debt ceiling was raised, we saw what happened. Markets just shot to the upside, right? So while the debt ceiling was going on, I was reading about debt ceiling, what it meant, what will happen when the debt ceiling is raised, what will happen when they don't, the recession and all that. So I knew if it was raised, that's a very good news. It will push markets to the upside. Yeah, so I was just waiting for the dip. So I was just waiting. When I got the dip, I bought the dip. So when the news on that day, when I saw the news, U.S. government has raised the debt, I'm like, oh, thank God. The next moment, boom, it was gone. So the reason why this is one of the reasons I love Nasdaq. It is moved by fundamentals, okay, and it is called Nasdaq because 100 companies from the US, right? And we have 7 major movers of the Nasdaq, which is Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Netflix. So everybody uses Apple, iPhone. People are buying. So every day something is happening on this pair. So it's very, very important. It's not just technicals. You have to also read about all these companies. So I have softwares like you can just go online, go to investing.com, just read what's happening. So you see, Apple launched the new iPhone 15 and it's going to cost cheaper than this. That's a good news. It will just shoot the market up. Do you understand? There are some news too that you see. Let's say Facebook laid off let's say 8 employees. It wants to, let's say something like that. It wants to go online. That's also a negative news. It will shoot the market down. Okay, so that's the more reason why I love Nasdaq. I feel like it's apart from the technical analysis part, you can actually read these news. Oh, I hope this will not interact with my. Yeah, let me just close them. Yeah, you can actually read this news. And also, the reason it is called Nasdaq is because if Nasdaq wants to move, it moves for 100 points before retracing. If it's moving, 100 points, retrace, 100 points, retrace, 100 points. That's the more reason why I love it. So if I get a move from the bottom or from the top, I just target somewhere 70, 80 pips. And I know it will cover it because That's very particular about Nasdaq. So these are some of the things like I do behind the scene. Yeah, some of the things I do behind the scene. Let's say on the weekend, I just go to investing.com, read what is happening, what will happen next week. And because there's 7 companies that I mentioned, they really move Nasdaq. I focus more on them. So Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Meta, Google, Microsoft, and Netflix, they have like bigger shares in the Nasdaq stock. So whatever happens there is what is happening here. What will move the market. So before bell opens too, I make sure I check what is happening in these 7 companies. So it can be a buy from London, but I'll check first and confirm that everything is moving normal, then I go in. So basically this is what I do. I don't do much. I just use these simple things and then I'm good to go.
While we were just talking about fundamentals, New York just opened 2 minutes ago and Nasdaq just moved up by $30.
Okay. You see what will happen. So as we saw, it was buying in London, right? Good. So it's more like London was buying. London is the boss. New York just opened. So London will still do its thing, finish before New York will come and start. So it will influence what is happening. Yeah. But mind you, smart money will come in. They will do as if they are selling, just trying to get people to sell. Then before you realize, boom, it will move to the upside.
And Marvin, do you use stop loss and take profits, defined areas where you believe the market will not go anywhere after you implemented the trade, or will reach as your take profit?
If we don't, if how will we survive if we don't use stop loss? You will die. Yeah. So I do use stop loss. So basically, when I draw my zone, okay, I put my stop loss below. Let's say if I'm looking for this buy, I'll put my stop loss. Okay, so let's long. So just something small. This basically what I do. And I'll just target my I don't even target my 100 points, even though I know Nasdaq can do 100. I just target like my 70. So if it hits my stop loss, that's it. I'm done for the day. Yeah. So I use stop loss and take profits.
And do you determine the take profit to the nearest key level that you have drawn?
Yes, sir. But usually I do my entries. If I'm entering, if let's say I'm doing 40 lots, I enter it right from the beginning. So I don't usually do TP1, TP2. I go straight to take my profits. So I might get my key levels, but let's say, well, okay, I think I understand your question. If my key level is up to my 90 points and my 80 points, I'll just take profits over there. Yeah, but if let's say I have other key levels in between some people do TP1, TP2 before they get to their final TP. Yeah. So what I do is I just do one TP, targets like 80 points. And because I said if Nasdaq is moving, we are short of our 100 pips. On the average, you get your 70. I target 70, 80, and then I'm done. I hit it, then I'm going.
Looking at the chart, some people would argue that there's also a support resistance line standing at $14.50 for $14,500. Now, my question is, which level would you consider the most significant key level for your trading day?
This is my current key level. Okay. We have 14,276.5. So this is more like currently my support right now. Okay, so if markets breaks this support, then that's it. It will hit my stop loss, just like I was saying. Okay,
Correct.
but if markets, because I'm looking for longs, because I'm buying, this is just it. So currently, this is my resistance. I mean, some people can call it like demand. Yeah. But then again, like I said, I don't really like, I've been doing what I explained earlier, and it's kind of working for me. Yeah. So I have I have my detailed setup and all that. But when I wake up, I try to do the basic things first. Yeah.
Marvin, can you walk us through the basics that we can see in the chart?
First of all, what I would say is you have to anybody who is trying to get into forex, okay, should try and get the knowledge, okay, should try and get the knowledge. It's good to have YouTube and all that, but getting a mentor, getting the knowledge is also very, very important. Don't rely solely on YouTube. There are good things on YouTube, and unless it's structured, I'm not saying YouTube is a bad thing. Okay, so basically, let me just do something small. Okay, so usually,
And this is coming from a trader who makes real money with real prop firms. So it's a good advice for any aspiring.
yeah, you need a mentor. Any field, whatever you want to do, you need a mentor to cut the losses, to cut the all those mistakes and all that. So basically, some call it top-down analysis. Okay, some call it top-down analysis. There are so many school of thoughts. Everybody, they just, I don't know, they name it. Some will say fair value gap, some will say imbalance. I don't know what's wrong with them. But so what I do is I come to my monthly time frame, reset. Then I focus on my current month, but because today is 8th and we don't have so much for June, let's include May. Okay, let me take this off. Okay, so I focus. So what I do is when I come to May, I think this is May, right? This is May. So I look for the highest the market went to, and then the lowest the market went to. This is the highest the market got to. So let me use my line chart. So just, let me just use this to make it easy. I use this. Okay. So after I do this, what I do is I move on to my daily time frame. So my daily time frame would I use that to look for the direction, like the overall direction, what's happening. So as we can see, we are going up, we are climbing. So we have higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Yeah. This. Yeah. Then I change to my 4 hours. 4 hour. Right. Then now I start drawing my zones. Okay. Levels. And these things, it comes with like I think you have to do it over and over and over again for the precision and all that. So I'm marking my levels. Okay. Basically, when we are in an uptrend, okay, we expect higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low, higher highs. very basic like things. So if markets, when it got to this key level, it reacted, it couldn't break it, went up. When it got here, came back. Basically, this is how I start my analysis, and then I continue build up, build up, build up. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, from this setup, we can clearly see there's a significant support level for today. And then you went also long for today. So you have a multiple bias to long or buy the market.
Yeah, so that's it.
And can you go down even to a smaller time frame, like from the 4 hour, you're going all the way to the 30-minute instantly, and then you're just looking for the New York Open and trade accordingly what we have discussed earlier.
Exactly. So usually I come down to, like I said, I come down to my 30 minutes time frame and then identify all these things on the markets. But I like to keep my chart very simple. There are times I use trend lines for confirmations. But again, like I mentioned, this pair, you will do all your technical analysis. When there is a news or when there is a fundamental activity, it will just invalidate everything. So in as much as I have my technicals in place, I pay more attention to what is happening on the market, the news, what the economies are going through, because that is what will give you the direction for the day.
Marvin, you mentioned you're looking in investing.com. How much time does it consume for you to know all the fundamentals about US?
No. You don't actually have to like read every news, like every news. Just the headline alone will tell you whether that's a good news or a bad news. And you just have to know whether it's a good news or it's a bad news. Yeah.
Okay.
So if Amazon laid off 1,000 employees, that's bad. That's bad. Tesla has built the new V model or something, and it's nice. That's a good news. Yeah. Or Apple is releasing their earnings, and the results came less, like as in they earn less. That's also very bad. Okay. Or let's say you have to be very, very mindful. I'm not saying you, I mean a trader is supposed to be like mindful when trading, especially stocks. Okay. For instance, during the earning seasons where these companies come and give information about their earnings. Let's say if you are holding a buy and you are going to sleep, you go like, oh, I'm expecting more buys. We are in a buy trend, like we are in a bullish market. So let me just buy and hold it. You will leave your market, you will leave your charts, go back to sleep with a buy. Apple will come and release their earnings, and their earnings is let's say lesser than what they expected, which is a bad news. The next morning you wake up and then you see a long streak of like sales. Do you understand how? So usually these are some of the things, like you have to be very well abreast with the fundamentals during earning seasons. You have to know we are in an earning season, so this and this will happen. So you don't have to hold trades. You have to take your time, read the earning, because they usually don't announce the earning during market. They announce it when market closes. So the next morning you come and then it has already happened. Yeah.
And you can prepare for the New York Open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's a gap, whenever there is a gap, markets will close that gap. Yeah. So it's just like I said, everybody needs a mentor. My mentors that I met, like they've really showed me some things they mentioned. Yeah. So
And lastly, Marvin, can you go over to the other chart where you have prepared me a introduction about your analysis? I saw the fair value gaps and break of structure. Can you walk us through that chart?
unfortunately, I didn't. This was already there since yesterday. Yeah, but I didn't take it. I didn't take it. I just wanted to finish with this interview. Then I'll have I got my logins actually yesterday. So,
Yeah.
and there's this thing I say, market is always there for you. Like money, we came to meet this trading thing and we'll leave and it will still be
Mm-hmm.
there. So you don't have to, like, if you miss out on an opportunity, don't don't kill yourself. Opportunities will every time present, like it will still present itself. Yeah.
It's really good to hear that, being disciplined and waiting for that setup and don't letting a unfulfilled trade take you down.
Right.
Can you show me some of your previous setups on this screen that you had outlined here? How did you come to those conclusions?
Right. So BOS here, which is break of structure. We are in an uptrend. We are moving up. Okay. And in an uptrend, we expect you say in an uptrend, we have higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. We expect the the new higher high to break the previous higher high. Okay. So if it breaks that, it is confirming break of structure, meaning that it has broken the previous high. So our buy is still valid. Okay. This thing we see here is chalk, change of character. Remember, I mentioned that in a bullish market, we look for higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. So in a case where your new higher high does not break your previous higher high, then that means that there is a change of character, change of the now the market has changed its direction. It's moving in a different direction. So as we saw here, we're higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. What's happening here? Market has broken. It was supposed to continue high, but it has broken it. So now we have a change of character. So now I take my time, place my trade in the next there's my support. There's my current support. So I now start looking for opportunities around this current support. And I placed this here yesterday. Yeah, that's it. And then I didn't even realize. So meaning if I put a pending order somewhere. So this is what I do. So I put my entry here, stop loss here. If it hits my stop loss, that's it. I'm done for the day. But just like I said, it was buying in London. Now you see what's happening over here. The trend is still continuing. Yeah. So basically that's all I do. I don't do much. I don't do much. Like basically this is it. And if you are trading Nasdaq or anybody who wants to trade Nasdaq, I think the first 2 hours is the most important thing. The first 2 hours. That's when market moves. I mean, people still trade after the 2 hours, but usually I come in for just that short hour, 2 hours, then I'm gone.
Thank you, Marvin. This was really interesting. It can give you a really high yield based on your risk to reward ratio is pretty high. And your daily setups from your accounts are also showing your consistency.
Yeah, thank you.
How did our dashboard help you in trading?
Okay, so apart from the interface being nice, you have this line graph thing over there.
Yeah, we have a balance curve, but it tracks your closed positions.
Exactly. So I remember my first payouts, my curve it went down, up, down before it shot up. Okay, so that picture was in my mind, and I'm like, no, I don't have to do this again. Let me strive and at least get more like a straight curve into the upside. And it helped me because my second trend, if I compare, it's better than the first one. And my third curve is far more better than my second curve. Yeah. So it's really helping me. If you open the page, that's the first thing you see. It hits you in the face. You go like, oh, okay, I'm doing well. Let me just keep it steep up and going. Yeah, that's it. And then also, you know how they write the minimum, I mean your daily loss and what's yeah, it keeps you aware. You are always aware of your environment, what is happening. Yeah.
Mm.
So you go down, you see the pairs that are working for you. Yeah. If let's say you trade multiple pairs, it will show you which ones you are winning. Then you go like, why am I even wasting time taking this? Let me just focus on this. So the dashboard is really powerful. Yeah.
It seems like you could be taking trades every single day and making profits every single day, but both of us know that's impossible.
Yeah.
How could you determine a day when you would not trade at all? What would be a determiner about which days to trade and which days are not to trade?
Right. So if I'm not trading, I still read. I try, just like I said, I still try and read, check my phone, like what is happening on the market. Okay. So there are some events around fundamentals, or just like the debt ceiling thing. I knew or I've read that for the past few years, debt ceiling is something, a meeting that will be held, it will go back and forth. But at the end of the day, it will be raised. And if it is raised, it will push up, right? So let's say I decide not to trade this. Let's say I've made my profits and I want to take my profits. And then I check my phone and they go like, oh, today or tomorrow will be the last day. Or let's say today is the last day of the debt ceiling. And then the president has met with the cabinet and they are planning on, or they've decided to use this. That news can like really push. So something like that, I would come and start looking for my levels and then trade, whether I decided to trade or not. Because things like that, you know for sure will happen on the market. Okay. And there are days too, I plan on trading. I get there. I don't see any clear opportunity. I just won't trade. Yeah. And just like I said, in the funded environment or with the funded accounts, there is no pressure. So you don't have to like put pressure on yourself. Because if you think, oh, I can make money every day, I can make money every day. Well, it might work for some people, but I feel you might also, if you don't take care, it will just, you start losing money. I believe in, if you see my payouts, first one was around 6, 8, 10. I believe in increments. Yeah. So, yeah, basically that's it. Like, sometimes too, you feel like today is not a trading day. You are just not in the mood. That's it. Don't try. Just sleep and come back tomorrow.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think your payouts can be attractive for anyone who's starting trading. What would be your advice for any new trader who want to get into trading seriously and make it as a full-time trader in the business?
Okay. Even I don't know I don't know whether I want to do full time yet. Yeah, because I'm in the academia environment. I love academics and all that. But what I would say is, because you want to do trading full time, or because you are planning on doing it full time, get the necessary like training. Okay. Trading is just like any other like course you take in the university. Okay. Trading should be, even I think trading should, if you someone wants to do trading, it should be like go to school, get it before you come on the market. Okay. Many a time, me, I was fortunate to get mentors that made the mistakes and told me that, yo, don't do this, don't do that. But for some people, they just start and then they start putting money and then they just, so my advice is, number one, get a necessary education. Okay. Don't rely too much on signals. There are big telegram groups where mentors post signals. And I think for some people, they fall for that and they just trade signal, 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 signal. They just go in blindly. What the mentor says, that's what they do. Yeah. Don't just rely on that. While you are taking the signals and you are making some small, small profits, use that money to invest in a course. There are so many courses all around the world. Okay. Through Forex, you have so many materials that help traders, yeah, to grow. Don't just like start trading. Take your time, be meticulous, get the material, learn them, give yourself like a year, two, come on the market. That's one. Number two, get a mentor. Get is very, very, very important. Like getting a mentor is very, very important. I have my mentors. I talk to them just like the way we talk. Yeah. The first time I showed my mentor, I made this amount. He was like, "Oh, that's nice, but you can do more. Do this, do that. Next time, do this, do this." And I was like, "Okay." And in my second payout, it reflected. Yeah. So a mentor is very, very important. Number three, take your time. Like I said, markets, trading will be there to go and come back again. So take your time, learn it very well, and then milk the money. And if you are looking for prop firms, I won't lie to you, like True Forex Funds is the best. Is the best. Talking about payouts, time, it's 2 weeks. When my 2 weeks starts, when I configure payouts, latest 48 hours, like day one, day two, I have my money. That's it. Customer service, even sometimes at midnight, when you go to the chat and then you type my lot sizes, what, they go like, "Oh, we are currently out of office, leave your email or reply." By the time you get to your email, somebody has come to the chat. "Hello, Marvin, how can we help you today?" Like it's very, 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 yeah, you guys are professionals. And I mean, I've seen a lot of Instagram posts where people are saying, "Oh, that's an AI video generated." I saw that just recently from the Bahamas guy's interview. Someone wrote a comment in the comment section that this is an AI generated video. And I'm like, why do people sometimes like always think negative? Why can't you just think positive for a second? This guy has made like so much money, and because it's big money, you think it's AI. Just give it a try. Life is about risk. So whether True Forex Funds is good or not, you just give it a try and testify for yourself. That's it.
You know, every people want to have a belief in Forex trading. And my experience is that if sometimes a person fails an account or fails their first steps, they will not be as disciplined as you are to find a mentor and go through a proper training process.
Right.
And Marvin, any last words you want to shout out or thank someone who helped you all the way to becoming a profitable trader?
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank True Forex Funds for giving me this opportunity. Yeah. Just like I said, there are so many fraudsters out there, but you guys are the best. So I want to thank you for giving me capital that I'm trading, that I'm making money. That's one. Number two, I'd like to thank my mentors of His Justice, Godfather, and then I'd like to thank Lannister, which is my brother. Like we all like we learn, we do the same thing. He's coming hard. Like his level is a different level. He's yet to hit True Forex Funds, so he's also there. Again, Douglas, we meet usually every weekend to discuss what's happening, what happened, what we think will happen. Yeah, so shout outs to all of them. Shout out to Brash Shizzle. Yeah, that's it. And every trader that is now coming up, Yeah, shout out to you. It's going to it will go well. Just be positive about it. It will go well. Yeah, don't give up. It will go well. If you failed, keep trying. Keep trying. If you have to go back to demo accounts and set up a 50K over there and try the challenges over there with the same rules, do it and come back and buy it. And trust me, it will work. It looks, I don't know, but after you pass your first challenge and you are funded, now everything start coming back to you. It becomes easier. It becomes easier. Yeah. So I think the first challenge is your first challenge. But after you pass, everything becomes easier. Yeah. So don't give up. Keep pushing. It will work. That's it.
I appreciate, Marvin, this interview. I was really looking forward to it, and you have met all the expectations. Now, to sum it up, a new aspiring trader should find a mentor in your terms. That's what helps you to become profitable. Never give up, despite if you had some losing streak, because at the end, profitability is there. You just have to find your edge. Your concepts are simple to follow, but not every single day, because you have to give some time off for yourself from the charts so you can come back fresh and take into consideration the technicals, the fundamentals to find that perfect entry with low risk and high potentials. I would also like to shout out for everyone who just watched us. Leave a comment. How did you like our interview with Marvin? And hit the thumbs up button, like us, share, and comment, and see you on our next funded video. Thank you, Marvin.
Thank you, Joseph.